to catch the 108. Go to, well, I can order it. I mean, that's fine. I mean, this is one of the models anyway that has a map feature, so it would be nice if it was the other model, but that's okay. Have to set up later. Sheesh. Actually, oh, I know. I think I know where I'm gonna go. That parking Riverbank. Damn. Yeah. I think. Same way. Oh, I know where. Jamestown or not yet again. I'll see where. Damn, look what jerseys. Denver Broncos, Raiders.
Internet can help your business outrun the rush. It is with Comcast Business. Up-leveling your speed with gig speed Wi-Fi, powering all your devices, and fast downloads and uploads, powered by the next generation 10G network.
Okay.
With Comcast Business, next level speed isn't just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business, powered by
ear until I get to how we want to
speed and advanced security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying internet bundle. Call or go online to learn more. Ends 11/12/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payment. New 50 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment tax and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Peak Wi-Fi requires peak internet.
They have models, so
For over 40 years, the Marjorie Naismith Center has provided hope and healing to countless women, men, and children impacted by domestic violence. Today, the need is far greater than what our current center can accommodate. We're building a new community resource center that will double our service capacity, provide physical and emotional safety, and meet the unique needs of survivors and their children. Linda and Stuart Resnick, through the wonderful company, will match up to $1 million now through November 15th. Give now at mncenter.org.
Wonderful product. I've lost 111 pounds using it.
Oh, I know.
111 pounds. You could not believe the difference. I went from a 48 pant to a 33 pant, and I've maintained that now for over almost a year now. Yeah, absolutely. Andro 400 has helped me lose 111 pounds, and I've maintained my weight for almost a year now.
Thanks, James, for that inspiring testimony and 111 good reasons to choose Andro 400. The most effective and natural way to lose belly fat, increase libido, and energy, strength, and muscle, while safely boosting your testosterone levels. So guys, how many reasons do you need for trying Andro 400? Well, here are 2 more great reasons. Order now and get free shipping plus an additional $6 off when you use the code SAVE6. That's SAVE6. Call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435 or go to andro400.com. Andro400.com.
Are you ready for some hockey? Just here on the Fresno Monsters as they bring hockey back to downtown Fresno. Sellers Arena Wolves to Fresno Monsters as the Battle of the 99 brings the Bakersfield Roughnecks to Fresno. December 8th through the 10th. Game tickets are now on sale at FresnoMonsters.com. See tomorrow stars today. Be part of the excitement in downtown Fresno. Get your tickets now at FresnoMonsters.com. Fresno Monsters Hockey, built right there.
Get Fresno's morning news tomorrow at 6, only on KMJ.
33.
Welcome back to the Ben Shapiro Show. Here's some of the best of the stuff we were talking about this week. So, the Houthis in Yemen are now getting involved in war in Israel. On the international front, the battle in the media is a major part of what is going on. Because on the ground, Israel is winning. Last night, as mentioned, Israel struck a series of tunnel complexes under Jabalia, quote-unquote, refugee camp. I'm saying quote-unquote because it's actually just a city. People are calling areas in the Gaza Strip refugee camps as though these people are going to be imported into the slave office. There are giant buildings that have been there since 1948. Many of these are actually just cities. And calling refugee camps is a way of weaponizing them against the people. It is Israel as part of the war. But Israel did strike a bunch of tunnel complexes that killed an enormous number of members of Hamas leadership. They're penetrating deep into the Gaza Strip, particularly in the northern portion of the Gaza Strip. And so that's creating desperation on the part of Hamas, which you are seeing in them now attempting to say that they're going to release some passport holders. American passport holders were being held up by Hamas in the Gaza Strip. They're not being allowed to leave via the Rafah crossing. to create some sort of sense. They're not all that bad. I mean, they're all decent people. They're not bad. You'll see Hamas and Chief of say the thing about dual passport holders among the hostages that they're currently holding in an attempt to buy off America, for example. You may see them take some people with dual nationality, Israeli, American nationality, and release some of those people in an attempt to buy off the Americans. This, of course, is a statement to the point, because now we have not supposed to go. If you have the right passport, you go to the right place. If you have the wrong passport, you go to the left and you got everyone from every border without using important pieces of the pie. So right now, Iran has proxies everywhere. The proxies act as their offensive military mechanism. Iran's objective attack in its own country to destroy Israel outright. So instead, it uses proxy groups like Hamas, like Hezbollah. Hezbollah has so far stayed out. The reason that Hezbollah has not gotten in full scale is because my theory of this entire conflict is that this was generated by Iran in order to stave off the Saudi peace process. I think everybody who understands geopolitics understands this is what's happening right now. And the reason is because that process has been working amazingly well. The Abraham Accords are holding. Ali al-Noaimi, who's the head of Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee in the UAE Parliament, to quote, "From the UAE perspective, the Abraham Accords are here to stay. We want everyone to acknowledge and accept that Israel is there to exist." That's a strong statement. Okay, so the Iranians were afraid that they would be boxed in. They were afraid that the Saudi, Egyptian, Jordanian, UAE alliance, that this would effectively create a massive counterbalance, boxing them in the Middle East. And so the Iranians struck out using Hamas. Now, my guess is that they didn't think Hamas was going to succeed in this terror attack as far as it did. They probably believed that Israel's wall was going to hold, that this is not the first time that people have tried to breach the wall. They probably figured that they would attack with 1,500, 2,000 terrorists. Pretty much all of them would be killed, but they would end up killing a couple of hundred Israeli civilians and kidnapping 10 or 20 of them. And this would be enough to create a serious Israeli military response, but not enough that the world would actually be okay with allowing Israel to do that sort of thing, and so it would drive Saudi off the ball in terms of creating a peace deal with the Israelis. That was probably the original intent. And then it turns out that Hamas succeeded beyond its wildest imaginings. They ended up killing 1,500 people inside Israel and kidnapping over 200 people. They GoPro'd it, they videoed it, they couldn't help themselves because this is how much they hate Jews. And so Iran, I think, feels a little bit like the dog that caught the car. Hamas is about to get taken off the board. Hamas was one of their knights on the chessboard. Hamas is about to get completely destroyed and eviscerated, as well as should be. And the last thing they want is probably Hezbollah, which is a significantly more powerful piece of the rook. They don't want that being taken out by the Israelis as well. So instead, they're sort of prodding around the edges. But all of this, again, is the result of the success of Israel's military activities right now. Meanwhile, Egypt is saying that he's not going to take in anyone from the Gaza Strip. In fact, which, by the way, this should be an indicator of just how dangerous Egypt perceives the people in the Gaza Strip to be to their country, in terms of how many of them are supportive of Hamas. That's Egypt's perspective, not Israel's. Egypt. Mustafa Madbouli, who's the country's prime minister, said, quote, "We are prepared to sacrifice millions of lives to ensure that no one encroaches upon our territory." He said Egypt would never allow imposed solutions of the settlement's regional issues at its expense. So that is the current situation in the Middle East. The only way, literally the only way that Hamas can win and survive is with the help of the media pushing the West's political leaders into a position of weakness. That is their goal, and they may get what they want. All right, coming up more from the Ben Shapiro Show. Best of this week. This is the Ben Shapiro Show. Okay, right places. Okay, this is the evil plumber confrontation scene, okay?
Albritton Plumbing TV commercial, take 1.
And action.
It was a dark night in Fresno. Andrea and Annie were calling it a night at Albritton. Then they walked in.
Evening, folks.
Going somewhere? Andrea? Who are these guys?
They work for that other plumber, Mr. Ripoff.
It's pronounced Ripoff.
Nah, it's Ripoff.
Quiet. Ripoff plumbers don't like Albritton plumbers.
Making us look bad. So now...
Hey, hang on.
Cut. What's wrong?
This seems silly.
I love it.
But Andrea, we could just tell people at Albritton we're expert leak detectives. To solve your plumbing mystery, just call Albritton.
Online at
AWVITTEN.
That's a wrap.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so,
That's a
you
red
need to
light.
call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you. He's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
Hey Jen, sorry I'm late. I had to stop for gas. I can't believe how much it costs for gas. I know, everyone's still talking about how much gas is, but I never pay full price. I just use the free Upside app, and I get cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. Wait a minute. You actually get paid real cash when you buy gas with the Upside app? Yeah. I earn back up to 25 cents a gallon every time I buy gas. What? That sounds like it could really add up. It sure does. I've made over $300 already. Wow, that's serious extra money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CAR30 for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account through PayPal or an e-gift card. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CAR30 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus in your first tank. That's code CAR30 for 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. Cash back eligible. Gas and drinking zone.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infection from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Oh, yeah. Hola! This November at Table Mountain Casino Resort, there's a total of $350,000 to be given away during Turkey Tom's Free Estate. Help your feathered friend during Double Your Free Play Down Under Tuesday, Pyramid Payday Wednesday, Closure Paris Thursday, and Final Destination Fridays all month. It's lucky days and epic nights at Table Mountain Casino Resort.
Think you have a good reason for not donating blood? My blood type is not in demand. In fact, there are often shortages of type O, A, and B blood, and for all types, shortages occur during summer and winter holidays. There's no excuse for not helping make sure that the Central California Blood Center always has an adequate supply of blood available for your family, friends, and neighbors.
I'm scared of vampires.
Those aren't real. Be the bigger person. Go to donateblood.org now to make an appointment.
Use code 580-1059.
KMJ.
Welcome back to the Ben Shapiro Show. Here's some of the best of the stuff we were talking about. The media narrative is going to be that Joe Biden's poll numbers are in the toilet, not because he's a bad president, not because he had pre-existing bad poll numbers, but because of his support for Israel. Now, the evidence on that is incredibly scant. The fact is that Joe Biden has really bad poll numbers because he's a really bad president. And so those poll numbers pre-exist his support for Israel in this particular conflict. It's something that statistician Nate Silver has pointed out. He says that there's really no way to sort of correlate his success with regard to Israel with his electoral success. You're seeing a bunch of left-wing activists like Gideon Ratzlaff, who's a chief foreign affairs commentator for Financial Times, saying Gaza is very bad news despite the real process. Young voters and progressives are a key part of the Democratic coalition. They are furious about the administration's support for Israel. They stay home and vote for Cornel West. Biden's in big trouble. So, number one, none of them are voting for Cornel West. Cornel West is not going to get a lot of this. But, as Nate Silver points out, there's been no change overall in Biden's approval rating since 10-7. Biden's policy is popular with partisan some Democrats and unpopular with others. Also, swing voters matter too. Americans are pretty supportive of Israel. That happens to be true. But, again, the media are now creating pressure, particularly pro-Hamas members of the media are creating pressure on Biden by essentially suggesting that if he were to lose the election, it would be because he's too supportive of Israel. Which is an amazing statement considering that in the United States, supporting Israel over Hamas is like a 70-15 process in terms of polling data. Naturally, John Dogby, who is a member of the pro-Palestinian caucus, was commissioned by the Arab American Institute to poll Arab Americans just to show Joe Biden how angry they are, showing that just 17% support the current president in the 2024 election. The poll surveyed Arab Americans across the country, including battleground states. 2/3 of Arab Americans have a negative view of President Biden's response to current violence in Palestine and Israel. Only 17% are ready to vote for him in 2024. But Biden is not the only candidate losing his support. The majority is not claiming to prefer the Democratic Party. In 2008 and 2016, Democrats outnumbered Republicans 2-1. In this poll, 32% of Arab Americans identified as Republicans, compared to 23% who identified as Democrats. 69% of Arab Americans reported experiencing discrimination. 70%, 74% of Arab Americans aged 18 to 34 reported facing discrimination. So, let's just point out here, we should point out here, that this poll does not suggest that these people are going to swivel and vote for the most pro-Israel president in the history of the United States, Donald Trump, who's likely to be the Republican nominee, or Ron DeSantis, who, if anything, is even more pro-Israel than Donald Trump. But this is ginned up in order to put pressure on Biden to abandon Israel. And you're seeing the media do this over and over and over. So, we have an article from Politico suggesting former aides to Kamala Harris's 2020 presidential campaign are collecting signatures for a letter urging the vice president to, quote, seek an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, calling Israel's Gaza campaign a genocide. The draft letter, which was obtained by Politico, amounts to an attempt to dial up pressure on one of the Biden administration's most familiar faces. It encourages the vice president to support a ceasefire resolution introduced by Representative Cori Bush. The draft letter says, we must mourn the tragic loss of Israeli life targeted by Hamas. However, we must firmly and unequivocally reject the Israeli government's exploitation of these deaths. Exploitation of the deaths. That's what Israel is doing. They're exploiting the deaths to get rid of Hamas, despite the fact that, again, they literally surrendered the entire Gaza Strip to Hamas and left them in control for 18 years. 18 years, well, Hamas is firing rockets at them. But they're exploiting the tragedy in order to do what? Expend Israeli blood and treasure going back into an area they wish they had never seen? Like, this is amazing stuff. But again, the goal here is to generate dissent inside the Democratic Party. Same thing in the Wall Street Journal. Molly Ball, who's a left-wing reporter, the left is tearing itself apart over Israel. Many on the left, the Israel-Hamas war is spurring what feels like a permanent rupture, where previously sublimated differences become impossible to ignore, and everyone must choose sides. Both pro-Israel and pro-Palestinian advocates describe a feeling of disillusionment as relationships fracture and harsh words are exchanged. The result, many predict, could be a breach that splits Democrats for a generation with untold political consequences. The feeling is mutual. So she talks about how Jews are feeling like, why are Black Lives Matter and Cori Bush and AOC suddenly pro-Hamas?
Approaching a railroad crossing.
On the left say President Biden and other Democratic office holders have blindly sided with a right-aligned Israeli government. By the way, right-aligned mention them. It's a unity government. Many